So I'll be starting the session. Today agenda is just introduction for Java and the basic syntax and data types and workflow of Java and some OOPS concepts, how it works in the real time. I'll be showing you. So firstly, we all know about Java. It's a high level object oriented programming language where it is independent language we can use. Firstly, in Java, we get three types like JRE, JVM, and JDK. JRE means it is the line where we can run the code, means Java runtime environment, where we'll create a some environment of the Java and we run the complete packages in this runtime environment. And when it comes for JVM, it is exactly like a brain for the Java machine. Means it will take the Java program, all the inputs and outputs which we given to the class file, and it will be converting the bytecode into the machine code and gives the compiler to access and run with that code. And JDK means it is the toolbox where we compile and run the uh, Java program. Means if we see this is an online compiler, so we can say this as a JDK where we use the development kit for running the Java program. So in Java, mainly we can see few data types like everyone sorry, anyone know about data types? Hello.
Yeah, I know about this is Bala. I know about data types.
Okay. So what is exactly meant by data type?
Data types are like which you use it to store. Wait,
Hmm. Yeah, it is like storing the data into some variables. So it has two types of data types. One is primitive and another is non-primitive data types. In the primitive data types, we include like int, float, double, char, and boolean and byte, something like long and short. Int is an integer function which we use for the total whole numbers, and the float is for the decimal numbers like 0 0.1, 0 0.2, and all. And the sorry, double is for more than the precise number, means more than the expected number we can use for the double. And the char is for the single character, and boolean is for the items like true or false, and byte is for the small integers like negative items or the small integers. And then long and short is the like inside the data types like int, long int, and short int, we can see the integer variables in different types. Where it comes for non-primitive, we can see like array, string, interface, class, enum, or a object. All this comes under non-primitive data types. Arrays means like a collection of similar elements, any kind of elements. It may be like a numbers between 1 to 10, numbers between 1 to 100, like that. When it comes for string, then it will be a collection of characters. Like if my name is Kavitha, it is a string, means Kavitha, it's a complete a string. And then interface means the abstract type, exactly like running, means how it will be using the exact behavior of a particular object or some uh, type of thing, like runnable. Or if I compare with some object with one to another, it will be a comparable type data type. And enum is a fixed set of constants, and class is simply like a blueprint of the object. An object means root cause of all cause. This is a real time element which we are going to use the object inside the class now. Firstly, public static void main string args. We everyone say this statement while starting off the Java code. What exactly this statement defines? So here in any code language we can see three types. One is public, private, sorry, protected. These are the three access modifiers means to define any particular element or to work with any particular data, we will be declaring in three modes. One is public mode and one another is a private mode and another is protected mode. Public mode means it will be accessing to each and every statement, and the private mode means it will be to some extent where it will be like closing within the some elements, and the protected will be shared with only few people in, like if you go for an organization that will be sharing only for that particular in depth of the organization. So we use public static void main. Here public means we use this public access modifier where everyone can access, it will be accessible for all. Public is for accessible means we can access it uh, from anywhere. It will, as we know, Java is a easy accessible in any platform on anywhere. So if you use my code, then you also need to be accessed within that code. So I use a public statement here. Then static means belongs to a particular class. Means I'll be defining there will be two methods like static and dynamic. Dynamic means it will be changing whenever we need. If we see a car that will be roaming on the road, the status of the car will be dynamic means it won't be in a particular state, it will be always changing from one end to another end. Whereas if you stay static way, for example a house or a tree whatever, so you can see that in a particular state, that means it won't be moving from one end to another end, means it will be in that particular boundaries itself. So it belongs to particular class, not to an object. So without creating any object, we can directly run using a class and define our program. And void means a method which doesn't return any value. It won't return any value. And main is a main function. This is the main loop of the function. And if you go for string args, I'll be using some arguments inside this means accepting any commands or arguments whenever we run a program. If I write a dynamic program for taking some inputs, like I'll take a sum of a comma b, so I'll be passing some random values in my compiler like 4 6 as a ab. So in this case what it will happen inside the string arguments, it will be taking some particular values, like it will be taking the dynamic arguments whenever it is required. Oh no. So completely this statement we will be using like a method which will be accessible inside the JVM without giving a object, I mean without initializing an object, without like returning a particular value or something. It can be accessible and accepting any kind of arguments from the command line. So this statement states that inside this it, system dot out dot println. This is a statement which we use for printing our messages in the console. Means the system is a built-in class here. The system is the built-in class of particular language called Java, and out is the static object which will be used for getting the output, and then println is printing for the particular message. Print is directly we can use print. This will be giving the output in a same line, same line. If I print Kavitha Thumbeti, then it will be printing on the same line. If I use println, then it will be printing Kavitha in different line and Thumbeti in the different line. Means it will be taking another line to print a statement. If we use multiple statements, we can go for println statement where we can define each and every statement in a single line. Is it clear? I'll be continuing next. So in any language, we can see simple control statements. So what is meant by control statements? Means we use control statements for something like flow of some execution. Means we use some statements or condition statements or any kind of statements to check the flow of the program whether it's running perfectly or not. We can give some conditions and some decisions and some task which can be repeat multiple times. So like that, as per our convenience, we can use these statements to run within the code. Means by using these things, we can iterate itself in a single code, and we can access within the codes itself. So in the control statements, we can see firstly flow decision making statements like if else, or nested if statements. So, syntax is very simple. If I proceed to take some elements, like I want to calculate some age of a particular people inside a class. So I'll be taking some statement like if condition. I'll be declaring some integer number age age, and then this must be greater than or equal to some, I assume some age like 18 years. So this is my condition where I'll be checking some integer age. I mean, some person age should be greater than or equal to 18 years so that I can take them into the class. So what is the syntax? System dot out dot println. I'll be printing eligible. So this is what I print. Means it will be cross checking each and every age of a person. If it's greater than or equal to 18, then it will be taking inside the class, or else it will be rejected. So if I want to write else statement for this, I'll be simply writing else condition and the same system.out.println condition here as not eligible. So if I want to make it as a nested if statement, else if statement, or anything statement, so we can add here else if statement means if not this, then what? Means I can give another condition inside this. Means if age is equal to 18, I'll give some not 18, less than 18. Okay, less than 18. I can print something like eligible for maybe inter. I'll be printing like this. So based upon our condition, the statements, I mean the working capacity of particular program or running of a particular program will be changed according to that. So after writing FL statement, we need to continue that with an else statement to close that. So mandatory else statement to close that statement. So I'll be not taking for enter also. If the condition is false, means if the condition is, if I take another if else statement like age is less than 15, so my condition is false because I'll be taking uh, inter students are age are must be less than 18 to 17 years, so I'll be taking not eligible directly. So followed with else statement, I'll be printing some statement like school. So in Java program, we must be ensure about the closing and opening brackets and the semicolon and the double quotations, and the it is a case sensitive. We must ensure whether what we exactly writing. Means we need to check each and every statement before writing. If we use capital L E, if you use capital E L S E, then it will be failing. If you use small s, it will be failing. So before writing, we need to check what exactly case sensitive is, means what we are writing we need to check once again. Then we go for loop statements. We go for loop statements. Loop statement means,
Yeah, for loop, while loop, do while loop.
yes, exactly. So this will be taking some end number of things, and it will be checking with it within itself and iterate itself and give some output. So firstly we go for loop. For loop condition, we use some. I'll be initializing some number int I equal to some 0, and I must be less than or equal to some value. Some some value or n we can define as per our wish, and then we need to increment the initialized value so that it will be firstly that in the loop it will be entering as the value as 0, and then it will be checking is the value is I'll tell you here. So firstly, I'll take I value as 3. So firstly, it will enter into the value. It will be checking it is value as 3. So in place of 0, it will be take as 3. Sorry, 3. Then I will be, sorry, 3 must be less than or equal to 10. It will be checking the value. It is less than or not. Then after 3, it will be taking plus plus means it will be taking the value as 4, means it will be going for next value. After completing this 3 less than 10 iteration, it will be going for the next value and checking the condition again. Hmm. So I can use some system dot out dot print ln. I'll be printing some basic statement like hello whatever. I'll be printing taking I means I'm calling the variable here and closing the statement. So this will be printing my number. I'll show you the output. There is an error. Tell me why. Can anyone tell why there is an error?
I haven't created a public method or a class, anything. You just created for loop.
Yes, exactly. So I need to have some function before declaring, mean main function before writing some condition. So what will be my main function? My main function is this public static void main, this one. This is my main function. Inside my main function, I can write any multiple number of functions here. So I can simply copy this. I can paste here. Will it works now? It's not
No,
working still. But why? Because we need to create a class here. Public class some name main. I'll be opening the bracket, closing here. Now it will work. Still not working because here it's case sensitive. Still not working
you need
because
to put
I need
brackets.
to put this inside the main function. Oh no.
Yes,
So this is how it will be checking all the case sensitive things. See, it's printing 10 number of times because it will be iterating within the loop itself. It will be taking multiple values after checking I equal to 1. Firstly, it's checking from I equal to 0 and then going I plus plus. It's multiplying, it's sorry, it's adding on I element and then going increment and printing all the elements till 10. I'm checking till 10. If I change my condition, it will change the output. It's printing till 9 because I said it should be less than 10.
yes. Okay.
Yeah. So next is while loop. How? Wait. Instead of this, we'll be writing some while loop condition. While loop is it will be checked before execution. Checks before some execution. It will take error if I write here. So it will be checking before some execution. Like if I take while condition int of I, it should be less than or equal to 3. So I'll change the statement in the first statement and I'll take here I plus plus means I'll be increasing the statement. Class is expected. Compilation is failed because I have not used this colon here. Again failed. Mhm. Uh, Sorry. Without initializing, I have written that. Means I directly wrote a condition without initializing that. I can write this statement inside also. I need to use semicolon. Again error. It's giving me this many errors. Okay.
We have to declare the
Yes, yes, we need to declare some value for that. So it will be checking before enter execution only. It will be checking before the value. So it will be checking the value for 1. Then it will check. Then it will be entering into the loop and print some element. And again, after adding the element, it will be entering into the loop and checking for the next element and go on.
Which one is faster, for loop or while loop?
While loop. For loop, it will directly enter into the loop and then start executing. But in the while loop, it will be executing first and checking the condition next. See, first it have taken the element as 1 and then applying +1 and going inside the loop and checking the condition.
Okay.
So in the do while loop, it will be executing the
Can you
code block.
explain somewhat clarity? It's somewhat confusing.
Should I explain with another example?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So this is the code which I have written. So means here the code will be repeat a block of code as long as the condition is true. See, if the until unless the condition is true, the block will be iterating itself and it will be checking the condition. Keep on, it will be checking complete condition. And if the condition is true, then code will be coming. The output will be coming out. So after one round or each round, it will be check the condition again and then repeat itself until unless the condition is false. So it will be checking each and every time. If I give 100 also, it will be checking for 100 times and it will be checking until unless the condition is false. It will be running itself inside the block and it will be checking continuously and printing some statement. So I'll be writing some code here. I will declare some count value equal to something 7 and then I'll be checking the count value here. Count must be less than 0. I'll taking like this. So inside this I'll be printing some value like counting down. How many times it is counting? We can see the output here. After seeing the output, we can get clarification here what exactly happening. So this is inside my loop. So what I'll be doing, I'll be increasing the count value and close the while loop. I'll be printing some another statement here named as count stopped at the stop. One, two, fine. See, it's taking multiple number of times because I have given the count as 7. I have given the count as 7. So while loop condition is starting from the 7 and then it's entering into the block and adding the multiple times. So adding again as 8 and counting the number. Count, it will be infinite loop. It will be going on. The loop won't be ended because the statement which we have given is 0, right? So there is
Yes.
no end for this code. It will be executing multiple times. There won't be an end for this. So if I change this as some 15, count should be greater than 15. Counting has been stopped because if whenever the value it got 15, then it will come out of the block and stops the execution. So if the number is 0, then it never stops because it will be checking the true condition. Means it will be checking the condition itself only. It won't be checking all the statements, whatever. It will be continuously running until the condition is false. So if I give the condition like this, it will be stopping the count because it has reached to the end, and code execution will be stopped. Did you understand now?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the do while loop, if we see do while loop, it will be executing the block of code at least once before checking the condition.
Will you provide this PDF to our Gmail, ma'am, or we have to write the notes?
If you want, I can share, but I'm writing roughly.
Okay, okay. No issues.
Okay. So what happens in the while loop, before checking the condition, it will be continuously going until unless the condition is false. But in the do while loop, it will be at least checking once before the condition. It will be checking and it will be working upon that condition. So syntax will be like do some property and some sort of code here, and then it will go for while condition, while and some condition here. So it will be checking at least once. It will be checking the code, and then it will be going inside the while condition. But whereas in the while condition, before checking any kind of condition, it will be directly executing until unless the condition will be false. So we'll be checking with some example. So if I take okay. So I'll be taking some condition like, so we need to know about something before this. Scanner class. Scanner. The scanner is used for reading the input. So to read any input, we need scanner class. Does anyone know about scanner class? So
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
huh, this will be allowing the user, this allow user to give some input dynamically. So I'm taking some input from the user itself and reading that input and getting from my compiler done the work. So I'll be using some scanner here. So scanner class, scanner SC is an object. I'm using SC as an object for this particular scanner class. And then new. New is for declaring some new element called scanner. And then system.in. System.in means I'm taking from the user. So I'm taking some input from the user and then I'm reading that input. I'll go. I'll be taking some do condition. I'll be printing directly some condition here. Something. I'll be giving some, wait, I need to take some input from the user. So I'll be giving something like enter your name, enter your name. I'll be closing the brackets. I need to close the semicolon. Then I'll be giving something like name equal to sc dot next line. Means I'll be taking some input from the user and read that input, and I'll be in the system, it will be displaying a message like enter your name. After I'll enter a name, it will be taking the input from the user So now I'll be going into a while loop. So what we'll be doing here, I'll be checking the condition here. Oh, if I give name, it won't come. So I'll give enter your password. This will do better. Enter your password. Hmm. In my condition, I'll give a condition like this. While something is not equal to Kavi. Make sure like not Kavi should be not like this. So I'll make sure that password is not equal to this value. So before this, we need to give a condition here like pass. Oh, it's going the next word. Okay, password dot equals some value Kavi. Hmm. I'll be entering into the while loop and I'll be printing some system statement like access grant. mm, Access granted. Just we need to check all the closing and opening loops. Okay, so one more packet is extra. Mm, For this, it's not there. Hmm. Now I'll be throwing some error because I have not imported scanner class here. For this, we need to import some module from the Java. Import java dot util dot scanner means I am importing some library named called as scanner again. So I have declared name, but I'm taking here password. So I'll be changing this. Next line is going password equal to sc dot next line. Before that, I have not even declared the password here. So what to do before that? After declaring the scanner class, we need to declare some string like password. Now it won't throw an error. Hmm. It's asking me to enter my password. I'll give some name. It will be checking with that, but it's giving access granted. So I need to check here. It's not equal to that. So I'll change the condition. Oh, it's 1 second. Again, it's asking. See, the condition is not false. So again, it's asking me to enter some name. I'll give another name. It will again entering into the while loop because first time it won't be checking the condition and it will be working on, but at the second iteration it will be going inside the while loop until unless the condition is false, then it will be completely entering again and again. So I'll be giving another password. Now it given access granted means I have said that password must not be equal to Kavi, then only access granted. Here it is given as access granted because it is the condition is passed and it is the condition for further will be false, so it has ended the loop here. Did you got? For while and do while completed. So we can switch statements, control statements. Does anyone knows? In this we have jumping, means the code will be jumped from one end to another end. We can use switch statement here. This will be switching from one condition to another condition, and the code will be jumping from one end to another end. So it will be checking, it won't be checking each and every case. It will be directly checking the multiple conditions at a time based on our choices that will be working. So let's have some example for that. I'll remove all this. Firstly, let us see the syntax of this switch statement. Switch some condition or some expression, whatever. I'll be entering into the loop and I'll be giving some value case 1, and then I'll be giving some code here, and then I'll be having break statement. Break statement here I'm using to break that particular case 1 and continue with the case 2 statement, and again break, and again it will be continuing so far until unless we'll go for the default statement. Means here we need to stop the statement if the code is not matched with any condition. The statement will be stopped here and stop the execution of the switch code. So let us see some example here. I'll declare some int day equal to 2. So I'll be using the SOP statement. Before this I'll be using switch statement. Switch some condition, means in the condition I'll be using the day because I'm taking the attribute value as day, and I'll be checking the day values in each and every cases whether it's failing or passing. I'll be checking. In the case 1 I'll be printing the day as Monday. I'll be stopping this statement because after executing the statement need to be stopped, so I'll use break statement here to stop my loop. Again I'll be writing case 2 as put. I'll be printing Tuesday and then close the statement with break statement, and I'll be closing the case 2, then go for case 3, and I'll be printing something called as Wednesday. I'll close here, break. I'll close the case number 3, and I'll give some default statement here. Default statement as something invalid. My code execution will be stopping here. So let me check the statements. This is the closing condition. So move. Okay. So I'll run it. It will be, I have not used semicolon here, so it is throwing some error. It is printing Tuesday because I have given the day value as 2 and directly jumped into the statement case 2 and printed the statement Tuesday. If I give the value as 6, it is invalid because it will be checking into these three cases. I have written only three cases, but I have went to the sixth case. So it will be printing invalid because that is a default case. If the condition is not matched anywhere inside the code, then we can directly jump into a statement called as default. Whatever we prefer in the default statement will be running here. If no case matches, then the default case will be running. What happens if I remove break statement? I'll be removing all the break statements. Now it will print after it is entering into my cases. So first case is not matched, so it will remove the first case, and it will be entering into the second case. It is matched, it will be printing the second case. After that it will be entering into the third case. It won't match also, as we have not given the break statement. Means as we are not stopping the loop until there, so it is going inside another loop and printing that value, another loop and printing that value. If I write n number of values also, that will be printing inside here, as we have not used the break statement. So break statement will be used for stopping that loop still here. See what happens here. It has stopped till Tuesday only because I have used the break statement here. Means it will be using until this block and it will be checking the condition. If the condition is true, then it will be continuing there. Then it won't go for another session and check the condition. Any doubts? So I'm using some condition called for loop int I equal to something called 1, then I less than or equal to 5, and then I plus plus I'll be in here. Hmm, okay. I'll be closing my for loop statement here. Sorry, I have already initialized with the value name called as I int equal to I equal to 2. Again, I have initialized the value int I equal to 1. So it's throwing some error. So again, I'll be continuing with the loop. It is printing some more numbers. I have given a statement called I equal to 3. But beyond 3, the code has been executed as one more because I taken the value n value as 5. If I remove this n value to something called 10, it will be printing a number more. Yeah. See, it is checking the value I equal to 3, but after checking the value also it's continuing further because I have used a statement called as continue, and the loop execution will be continued until the I value will be matching to the number, and it will be stopping the execution. Any doubts still here? If no doubts, we can proceed with OOPS concepts.
Yeah, we can proceed, ma'am.
So If we see, OOPs are the main pillars of the programming language. So each and everything now in this development area, we need something defined with some objects so that it will be reducing the code. If I declare an object once and I can use that object anywhere in my code and run within the code, means I have declared something called as car. So within my code, I no need to declare again and again car and run the code. So as I declared once in the global, that will be enough and that will be reducing my code to continue more further. So OOPS means object oriented language. If you are familiar with C++, then you can get this OOPS concept easily. So in this OOPS concept, mainly we have four core pillars in the Java called as encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, then abstraction. These are the four pillars of the OOPS concept. So firstly, encapsulation means it will be wrapping the data. Wrapping the data and methods into a single class. Means here it will be taking particular elements and it will be uh, wrapping all the two or more three like functions, and it will be wrapping, and it will give the particular code. So for example, if I take something, so if I declare something called as name equal to n, have declared something like this, and I'll give some name called age. So and within my, I'll give a some function called public string and some function I'll use like get name, small get name function, and I'll be entering into that function and use return statement, and I'll be returning something called name. Again I'll be using something called as some other function called public void something. I'll be setting the age. I will check the age here. I'll be printing the age value. I'll print something other statement called int get age and some function return age closing function. So what I have done here. So firstly, I will take something called as name. So I'll be using some function called as name, and something I'll be giving some variable as age, and I'll be checking that age, and I'll be using some other function called as the get age. So for here I'm using a single say for single variable I have declared some single function. So I'm taking another variable called as age. So I'll giving age as 20. So I'm taking another value called as 20, but using some single variable, I'm using within two functions here. So first method, I'm using the age as set age, means I'm setting some age for that. So I'm checking with some condition of age. If the condition is positive, then I'll be setting the age of that particular age to some value. I'll be setting that age into some value called 16. So I'll be checking with the condition and I'm setting the age as 16. And in another way, I'm getting the age. Means here I'm wrapping the data. Means using single data, I'm using it for the double function methods, and doing the work here. So by using set name, we can use the set function, and by using the set method, we can use the set method function. But means simply using a single variable, I'm setting double functions here. Means using the single content, I'm wrapping up the data. This will be giving used for more security and more control and the flexibility of some code. We can use the access modifiers here, like public and private for the age. If I use public, and I can use anywhere inside the code. If I use restricted I mean like private or protected, I can't even use in another function, and I need to again initialize the value, and I can run the code there. For testing this, we can directly write a main function and give some variable, and we can test the data here. If we go for polymorphism, polymorphism means a single thing in many forms. Many forms means here it will be taking the same method name to in the different type of scenarios. Means single thing it will be using for different type of scenarios. Here we can get two types of errors, like compile time, and another is runtime. In the compile time, we can see method overloading. Means here what will happen if I use same name. mm, I'll be using same name called age, but I'll be passing different arguments for that age. So it will be throwing some error, because the compiler won't be understanding the exact thing which we are going to tell. So it will be throwing some error as compile time error, because I have used the same name called age everywhere, but I have given different arguments, like age in single code age as 10, in another code age as 20, and in another age as 30. So it will be throwing some errors. So for that we need to check, ensure the different names and the same names or whatever we are using within the code, it should be until the block or how we are using that. In the runtime, we can see method overriding. Means overriding means same name, same arguments, same name, same arguments, and subclasses will be, or sometimes it may be change, or sometimes it will be same. Here what will happen, everything is same. So even everything is same, it will be getting doubt for the runtime. Means while after executing the code, it will be throwing some error, because everything is same. So it will be showing some kind of error here. For example, different parameters within a class, we can see I am declaring a class called as something C. In that I'm using some method int add. In this add function, I'm declaring some variables int a and int b, and then I'm closing this. I'll be returning some value called a plus b. This is my function 1. Sorry, method 1. In this method, what I'm doing, I'm adding some function, adding some variables a and b. I'm returning that variable here, and then I'm using some other type and adding the same thing using same method, but I'm using with different data type here. What it will happen, let's see, double a comma double b. So what I will return a plus b. Again, I'm using some other thing. Int of add of int a, int b, and I'm using int c. Let us run this code in the compiler and we'll check the error what exactly happening. You'll understand. So okay, wait. I'm taking class as main because the file name is saved with main. So in Java, the file name should be saved with class name to compile the program. So this is what I have done here. So using different data types, I have used same methods here. So to I'll be calling these methods, be calling these methods here. I'll be calling these methods in my main function. I'm using the class name main, calling that function new. This is simply like a scanner class. Here I'll be passing some statements int sum of someone equal to c dot add. I'll be passing some arguments 20 and 30. I'll print the statement dot println sum is plus someone. So this is my sum. I'm calling the int sum method. By using that above method, I'm calling this. If I call this with another data type, I'll use here double 20.5 comma 5.7. So this is what I'm calling here. Let us see what happens. I'm getting some error. Why? Because not declared here. Some so there is no error within my code because I have clearly changed the data types here. This is a double data type and here is an integer data type. So the name should be different, and while using also I have clearly mentioned the different data types here. So if I won't use the data type again here and simply call the statement, then it will be showing throwing some error. This will be a compile time polymorphism with method overloading. Actually, it's not showing because the methods are overloaded, because I'm using the method simply add method for double function and add method for the return function. I'm using multiple methods here. Three types of methods I have used within the same parameters but with different data types. I'm passing the same arguments, same function, but I'm using three different methods. So what will happen here? The method overloading will be taking place. This will be the compile time uh, polymorphism. So we go for the inheritance topic. Anyone have idea about inheritance? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
No. Hello.
Anyone know about inheritance?
Not subclass extends a superclass.
Mhm. So inheritance
Acquiring
means in,
property to from parent to child.
yes. So acquiring some properties from one class to another class, simply named as the class where we are acquiring the data is called as the parent, and for the class we are taking is called child class. So I'm taking some data from the parent class to the child class. So in Java there is four types of inheritance. One is single, there is multi-level, there is hierarchical, another is hybrid. Here mul- okay, one second. Multiple inheritance is not supported in the Java because here there are no classes supported in the multiple level, so that cannot be directly achieved in the Java, but we can achieve the multiple inheritance by using some interfaces here. Single level inheritance means getting single level inheritance means getting one child from one parent, one child from one parent. So from using a single parent class, I'm getting a single child class, that is meant by single inheritance. Multi-level inheritance means the class which is already derived, we can derive another class by using that derived class. So I'm using uh, in this I have declared a class A. From class A I'm deriving class B by use already I have derived a class B, then I'm using class B here to derive class C. Means what happening, from multiple levels I'm deriving the classes. I can derive the class using class C, I can derive the class D also. Means already derived class can be used to derive another class here. Simply like from grandparent to parent, parent to us to some other children. That is a in level where from one derived class to another derived class it will be passing. And in the hierarchical phase, it will be deriving from the multiple classes from a single child, sorry, single parent. Means me and my brother is derived from my parents. Means from a single uh, class there is a two derived classes from that. So I'm using a class A is used to derive multiple classes like B, C, and D, and so on. Any number of classes we can derive from a single parent class. And in the hybrid, we can see combination of two or more inherited classes. Like firstly, I'm declaring a class called as A, and I'm using a class B. So to derive the class C, what I'm doing, to derive class C, combination of A and B, I'm deriving class C. So using A class and B class, I'm using a C class. Means I'm acquiring some properties from A and some properties from B. So if for in our real time example, so some people will be say my behavior is like my father, and some people will be say my looks are like my mother. Means some properties has derived from my mother and some properties are derived from my father. So the class C will be having the two properties, combined properties of A class and B class, and it may be a some other class also called D, and it can be derived multiple classes also. C can be derived or something E, something F, something like that. So using multiple parent classes, multiple child classes can be defined. Any doubt?
No, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay. In multiple inheritance also it's same similar like the hybrid mode. It will be using the it will be using multiple classes to derive a single class, but in the Java the multiple classes directly not supported, and we need to use something called as interfaces to derive the multi-level inheritance. So we use some keywords here. I use some extend extends extends keyword is used to extend the data from one class to another class. For example, I'm declaring a class called animal. So in this, I'll be declaring some function called it. I'm declaring some function and I'll be writing my SOP system.out.println something. I'm declaring something. I'm printing some function inside that. So I'll use this class animal for deriving another class. So I'll be using some other class like class called some followed by something like class cat extends animal. So I can give a something SOP statement here and can print some statements here also. What exactly happens here? So from if I write animal is eating here, what animal? It might be a cat animal. It will be taking the properties of void function also, like void eat function, and it will be printing here. I can write a function here void drink. What I can say is this cat can eat and drink. I can say like that. Means it's taking the inheritance property from one class to another class. So what happens here? The cat will be derived from the class animal. In the multi-level, by using these two classes, void eat and void drink, there will be another class defined. Any doubts?